So today I'm going to talk about how I personally clean my charcoal grill, and in particular, the Weber Kettle grill, and why charcoal grills are easier to clean than gas grills, and why I don't necessarily do a deep clean. Let's dive in. Okay, so in my last video, I talked about how I clean my gas grills and why it was so important to keep your grills clean so you can keep them performing well and not get any funky tastes in your food, and make sure you're cooking your food at its highest possible quality. Well, a lot of you guys were really interested in how I also clean my kettle grill, my charcoal grill. So that's what this video is going to be about. So thank you for suggesting in the comments, and if you have more suggestions, please leave a comment below and I'll be happy to make another video. So I don't want to go into all of the specifics like the last video, but why should you in general keep your grill clean? Whether it's a pellet grill, gas grill, or charcoal grill. There's really two primary reasons. You want to make sure you're keeping your gas grill, charcoal grill, or pellet grill in the best possible shape that it could stay in, to prolong it, but also for food quality. You don't want to necessarily be smoking up some salmon and tasting last week's lamb roast in the salmon. So it's also important to make sure that you are keeping a routine cleaning log of your grill, and that could be very simple stuff like just scraping the grill grates and wiping down some grease, or in a charcoal grill, it's a lot easier, and I'll talk about why. Just using the one-touch cleaning system. And then maybe periodically or seasonally doing a little bit more of a deeper clean, but some sort of cleaning is required to maintain the performance and the quality of the food. So why are charcoal grills so much easier than gas grills? It's for the very simple reason that a charcoal grill, or a kettle grill in this particular case, is just a lot simpler in design. I don't have to worry about any of the plumbing that's associated with the gas grill that's required for the burners. A charcoal grill, a kettle grill is really self-contained, and you don't need to necessarily rely on burners or things like that. Now that has its pros and cons, and you can get into that in the comment section. Which do you prefer, a charcoal grill versus a gas grill? But when it comes time to clean, a charcoal grill is just simply easier and simpler to clean by design. But I also wanted to give you guys a heads up. We're not going to do like a full-on restoration. We're going to do a deep clean. And in particular, I'm also going to focus on the outside of this grill, because this particular grill, this Master Touch Premium, in case you're wondering what type of kettle grill this is, it's the hinged version of the kettle grill. Fantastic grill. Super glad that I bought it. But this grill gets used a lot for client work, for client videos. And on the outside, it's starting to look really bad. So I just want to clean it up a bit and bring some of that shine back. So I'll be focusing a lot of my cleaning or my detailing attention on the outside of the grill. But on the inside, I have a very specific philosophy when it comes to kettle grills. I don't do a super deep clean, because for you kettle grill owners out there, you probably already know this, but when you first buy a kettle grill, there's a break-in period. And that break-in period is actually extremely important if you want to do low and slow grilling. And I do a lot of low and slow grilling on this particular grill. Basically what ends up happening is kettle grills, when they're brand new, they're not as efficient because they tend to leak. And they'll leak until you've broken them in, you've used them a couple times, and they start developing this carbon buildup, carbon seal on the lid, which actually helps them seal up better and become more efficient. So I don't want to scrub any of that stuff off, but I'm not going to do a deep clean because some of that carbon buildup that I've built up over years, it's actually to my benefit. Likewise, I know there's certain people that want to like completely restore the grill grates, and if you're one of those guys, go for it. This is just how I clean my grill, so don't take any of this stuff personally. Using a grill brush is good enough for me because I want that seasoning to stay on there, because my grill never sticks and I want to keep it that way. Okay, so what are some things that you're going to need that are required? Well, a lot of this stuff is optional, so it's completely up to you, but I would highly recommend gloves. Just keep your hands clean. I would highly recommend some safety glasses. Even if you're not going to be using a pressure washer, Spoiler alert, I'm gonna be using a pressure washer later on, but it's just a good idea to protect your eyes as you're scraping things. You don't want any like grease or carbon flakes or buildup just, you know, getting into your eyes. So safety first, and then depending on the method that you wanna use, I recognize that not everybody has a pressure washer. You don't necessarily need a pressure washer. You can really clean this grill with some good old-fashioned elbow grease and put your back into it, for lack of better words. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot harder, but a bucket of soap and water, maybe some Scotch-Brite, a plastic brush to help you kind of scrape some of the stuff off. All that stuff is completely optional and extremely useful. You can actually get a lot done with just a bucket of soap and water. I am gonna use this like $10 hose attachment that you can buy, this car washing gun that has a container for soap. I'm gonna use that today. It's actually quite effective for soap. I'm gonna apply soap on the outside of the Kettle grill, and then I'll pressure wash everything away. I'll put a link in the description below. You can actually find it on Harbor Freight. It's very cheap, it's 10 bucks. Fine, it works really well. It does have a jet nozzle feature on there that actually does a good job for cleaning the outside of the grill if you need to. So I will be using that. And then a final note on pressure washers. The one that I'm using is by Ryobi, and you can find it on Home Depot. It's a fantastic little portable pressure washer system. I think I got it brand new for like 180. I think it's gone up though. It's like 200 bucks now, but from time to time it is on sale for 150. I highly recommend pressure washers. If you can, if you have the space for them. This thing has paid for itself over and over and over again, and they really do come in handy. So if you can, get a pressure washer. And last but not least, I am gonna be using an old spatula as a scraper. So what do you guys say? Let's start. Okay, so first things first, we are going to start by cleaning the inside of the grill. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to scrape off most of the carbon buildup on the inside of the bowl and scrape that into and down to the one-touch cleaning system. And then we're gonna use the one-touch cleaning system, we're just gonna rack it back and forth at the end to collect all of that carbon buildup, all that gunk, that grease that I no longer want. The goal is to get the inside clean first. And as you see it here, as it's set up, first starting with the grill grates, scraping all that stuff down, cleaning it, and then we'll clean the lower grill grate, the grill grate that holds the charcoal, and then we'll start scraping the bowls. So we're literally gonna start from top to bottom, just naturally go from top to bottom, get the grill grates and then get the bowls, activate the one-touch cleaning system, throw all that stuff out. I'm probably gonna be very satisfied. I'm not gonna even bother with this stuff. This is all carbon buildup. This is good stuff. This is stuff that I want because it actually helps the Kettle grill's performance. So this is all the break-in stuff. The stuff around the lid, I like all that stuff. That's all good stuff. That's stuff that helps keep a good seal. It's the stuff in here, the grease. That's the stuff I want to focus on. And once we're satisfied with the inside, we'll clean the outside. Okay, we're gonna start off by grabbing my nylon plastic brush. This is a great brush, it's a safe brush, but you can only use it when the grill's cold. And when the grill is cold, for obvious reasons, so the brush doesn't melt, it's actually quite effective. I'm gonna clean my grill grates. I'm gonna clean them a little bit more detailed than I usually would. I'm also gonna flip the grill grate around and clean underneath, as well as the doors for the charcoal. And once I'm satisfied, I'm gonna remove the top grill grate and start cleaning the bottom grill grate. Now, it's extremely rare for the bottom grill grate to actually be gunky. If it does, the brush will knock all that stuff off. It's usually just ashy. It's up to you if you wanna wash it, but it almost immediately becomes ashy right after, so I'm just gonna knock off any gunk that may be there. All right, now it's time to clean the majority of the grill. We're gonna take off the grill grate and we're gonna start scraping off the walls. You can see that there's a lot of gunk and grease that's just been building up over time. I'm gonna scrape it into the bowl and we're gonna utilize the one-touch cleaning system to get all of that stuff out. The tray catcher was filled with gunk. Make sure you grab a trash bag and dump all of that stuff out. Okay, we're not quite done yet. Next up, we're gonna clean around and under the blades for the one-touch cleaning system. There's so much gunk that gets stuck under here and people tend to neglect it. Do your best, it doesn't have to be perfect, and make sure you move the blades around so you can get all of the gunk that's underneath. Okay, so I am pretty happy with the inside. That is pretty good to me. I mean, yeah, again, I could pressure wash the inside too, but this is not a restoration. I'm good with this amount of black carbon and some gunk around the corners. That's fine. This isn't going to affect anything. Honestly, they're probably going to burn off when I fire the grill up for the next cook anyways, and then it's fine. The important thing is here that I was able to clean the one-touch cleaning system, the blades. There's a lot of gunk underneath the blades. This one you can actually see was kind of pulling up a little bit. So glad I got that. I was noticing that my one-touch cleaning system was kind of skipping, or it wasn't necessarily doing a good job of cleaning anymore. That's usually a sign. I mean, you guys could see that we scraped off like a lot. It was pretty thick. Okay, so with that being done, let's clean the outside. All right, this is where all the fun happens. Make sure you close your lid. We don't want to spray any grease all over the yard, but I'm going to give the Kettle grill a nice soapy bath. Now, when it comes to soap, I'm not using anything special. I'm using Dawn dish soap, but I've heard of people using car wash soap or even special degreaser soap designed for cleaning grills. I've never had a need for any of that. And now we're going to use the pressure washer. I'm going to use a 40-degree tip, and make sure you don't get too close. We don't need to damage the grill or go too aggressive. All right, so that was basically it. That's basically what I do to clean my Weber Kettle grill. I'm probably gonna do another round, get some soap, maybe get a plastic brush and just scrape some of the gunk that's left over off, and then use the pressure washer again. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do as many rounds as you feel is necessary. Get it as clean as you want it to be, but I don't like to go too much. And then I'm probably just gonna dry it up and call it a day. And that's how easy it is to just clean off a Weber Kettle grill. That's it for me, guys. I hope you found this video informative, and if you did, please consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video.